Welcome to the Soul Mirror, where we explore the truths your body and spirit are always whispering. Joining us is the vibrant Dr. Shirley Piccarreto, Doctor of Naturopathy, world traveling herbalist, and best selling author, and the founder of Wise Women of Wellness. With decades of wisdom rooted in ancient medicine and modern vitality, she is here to answer a powerful question: are you regenerating or degenerating? So, welcome, Dr. Shirley. I'm honored to have you on my show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here as well. I love sharing a message of hope and inspiration that everyone can feel fantastic no matter their age.
Yes, thank you so much. And Dr. Shirley, what does it truly mean for the body to regenerate, and how do we even recognize if we are heading the other way?
Yeah, I'll go through that. It's kind of interesting. Our like skin on the palm of our hands, we regrow that every 3 to 5 days. We grow a new digestive system every 3 to 5 days. We grow a new spine every 10 years. Our liver's about every 3 to 4 years. So really it's kind of wonderful, how often our body can regenerate. And then when we're going in the wrong direction, there's a lot of things that we can notice as well too.
That's beautiful, and thank you for sharing it. And are there subtle everyday signs that we miss that point of degeneration?
Yeah, there really are, and again, it has nothing to do with age. I remember having a client come to my office, and she was tired and wasn't sleeping, and didn't feel good, and she says, "Well, I am 32," and I just laughed because, of course, we have a lot of years to go, but actually, lack of energy is a good way to know that your body is not feeling its best. A lack of physical energy and a lack of mental energy where we don't feel like we wanna get up and go through the day, or we don't have anything that we're excited about. We may experience brain fog, having trouble, connecting the dots and having
Mhm.
trouble focusing and concentrating when we're regenerating. And also digestive issues. If our body is not, you know, processing food correctly or eliminating food correctly, it's a sign that things are out of whack. Their aches and pains, those come with age, but they don't have to. So we can strengthen our structural system, our knees, our back, and all of that. And then poor sleep, of course, because that means our body isn't healing well, and our body repairs when it sleeps. And so if we're not sleeping well, then it doesn't have the chance to repair, and then we're definitely going in the wrong direction.
Yes, and I think most of us accept the fatigue and pain as normal when they might actually be the early warnings.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, a lot of people accept things as, just being the way it is, or they are just getting older. But even, I'm sure people that are, in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're very vibrant and alive and walk with a, kind of a perk in their step. And then, you see people in their 30s and 40s that are, kind of slow and downtrodden and, just kind of going in the wrong direction.
Yes, so true. And also, you have studied medicine across cultures. So,
Yes.
what ancient practices have you found most effective in activating regeneration?
I would say it's yoga. I did study yoga in India, and I've studied some things in Nepal and up in the hills in Vietnam. But with yoga being a 5,000-year-old practice, it has just been, to me, it's been very dear to my heart. But I also, it's where I see the most change for people, because it's not just physical, it's not an exercise, but it's this mind exploration and this, growth and the ability. I think yoga can heal the world. So that would be my number one for people. And as people get older, maybe they do a chair yoga. When they're younger, they have a very vigorous practice. And there's many different ways to have a practice, but I think people will change their body and their mind and their spirit in a beautiful way by embracing yoga at some level.
Yes, that's so beautiful. And how can we bring this into our lives without overhauling everything?
Yeah, that's a good question. I teach that it's a gradual change. Some people like, I'm in America and so many people here want everything very quickly. Like, oh, I've got a 20-day diet and a 3-week workout plan and a turnaround in 24 hours. And it's just not the case. So there is work, and there's more commitment, I should say, than work. There's discipline to do the thing, the discipline to have the water, every day, the discipline, to get out into nature, the discipline to put our phones down, that we're not just, looking at our, screens, all day long. And then it's choosing foods that are real foods. And again, here, in America, we have all kinds of hormones and additives and, different, chemicals and clean all this stuff. We're working on that now. We have a great Secretary of Health who's doing some good work, but it's really a bit by bit. And I teach a path, I call it the wise woman's path. And it's a step-by-step path where people can add in things, whether that's, a gratitude journal or starting with some lemon water in the morning. And then, every few days a week, just add in a couple more things. And then over a period of time, all of a sudden you've rebuilt a new body, you have a new attitude, you have good energy, you've dropped some pounds, you've done some detox, and in the body, most bodies respond in about 60 days, I find. So it's not a huge commitment, but it do need to get started.
Yeah, it's so fascinating how ancient simplicity often outperforms the modern complexity.
Yes, I agree with you for sure. Yeah, and we're finding more and more, that even one of the things I tell people to do is to go to get by some water. Just bring a journal, bring a book, or bring a cup of coffee. Just sit by the water because the water really, cleanses our mind and our body too. Yeah, a waterfall actually, helps to cleanse all the debris we may hang around the outside of our body. And so there's, yeah, the nature is the cure, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And also, you are both a naturopath and a yogi. So, how do movement and mindset influence the body's ability to repair and renew?
Yeah, that's a great question. The body, again, we renew, every single day. So our body is going to renew based we grow new cells every single day, and the cells make up the tissues, and the tissues make up the organs, and the organs make up our systems, and our systems make up our whole body. So everything starts at the cellular level. And so when we work at the cellular level and bit by bit, now, with movement, it's going to make a difference. Number one, it's going to help to, detox our system. We hold a lot of toxins both in the liver and around our joints. And so that's a catalyst there. Movement also moves our lymphatic system, and our lymphatic system is it's the fluid or the space between the cells. And so the cells are, as we know, they can be getting stronger, but part of getting stronger is also letting some of the toxins go every day. And so when we move our lymphatic system, which we do, primarily through movement and exercise, it allows this debris to get out. Like with lymph system, people can, like with their lymph glands, people can have a lot of, toxic, I don't know, just, like a garbage dump, has happened, within the body. And so when we do this movement and we're constantly moving our lymphatic system, it makes a huge difference. People who move and exercise, hike, bike, whatever they're doing are always, always, always healthier than those that do not. Even healthier, than those that, a smoker who exercise is stronger and healthier than a non-smoker who doesn't. So a big priority for health.
Yes, that's so wonderful. And what daily habits do you swear by to keep our vitality intact?
I have a part-time job at keeping healthy. I'm in my 60s now, and I've had a period of time a couple of years ago where I had not broke. I had 2 hip replacements, and I broke 2 bones, and I had to really, rebuild. Health has been a priority my entire life. I started at 23, so a long time ago. But as the body gets older, it needs different things. So for me, I do practice yoga 3 days a week. on a regular, basis. I do practice meditation every morning. I do practice gratitude every day, both in writing and in my mind. I practice visualization of things that I want to experience. And I get outside, every day. I live in New York State, so we can be very cold in the winter months, but just getting that sun, into our eyes, the
Mm.
vitamin D, the melatonin, makes a very big difference. I do eat well, I guess, as you would expect. So I have a morning drink, but I don't eat breakfast. I do intermittent fasting. So I allow, that 18 hours in between my meals so that my body can not only burn fat, but it does, which called autophagy. And when we don't eat when we leave room for the body to kind of cleanse itself. So I see that as helping to regenerate. And I do a detox usually about every, I don't know, maybe 4 times a year now. But if I travel, I do a detox, and it's not so much because usually the countries we go to, like, India or Nepal or, Vietnam, all the food is wonderful and there's no garbage in it. But, when you're flying on the plane, they're spraying all kinds of things and chemicals, and might smell like cherry, but it's not. It's a chemical. And so I do the detox there. And we do eat organic food. In our country, a lot of hormones have been put into the meat because they put it into the cows to make them fatter, and the chickens to make them fatter, to make more money. And I educate people and let them know that they really do need to choose organic or free range, and that kind of thing. So we do have a nice source of farm for good quality animals that are well treated. And then, of course, the good fruits and vegetables, and all of that, kind of thing. And I also think being joyful within, it's not just the outside things, but our health comes from joy that we experience, whether that's from a dog. Like I'll take time to play with my dog, and that may sound not important, but there was a time in my life where I thought I was too busy to play with the dog. Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And I'm like, okay, let's go play ball. So it's these other things in our relationships and our friendships and our family that also make a huge difference, in doing work that we love. Right. Yeah. It sounds like you love what you do. And when we love what we do, then we can share our energy and our brightness and our bright light with other people. And that giving makes a big difference as well, too.
Yes, that's so beautiful. And it feels like regeneration isn't a mystery, it's a lifestyle that we can actually choose.
Yes. Yes,
And
absolutely. Go ahead. It's fine.
yeah, and many people are unknowingly stuck in cycles of slow degeneration. So, what role do diet and emotional toxins play in that process?
Yeah, it's most people don't understand the importance of detoxing. We just weren't, didn't grow up with it, too much, at least, in North America. So I think that, when we can think about all the things that we accumulate, whether that's from food, whether that's from the hormones, whether that is through, paints, or even, let's say, someone is a hairdresser, or somebody works in a factory where there's a lot of toxins. So we don't even realize it, but over the years, these accumulate, and the toxins can accumulate around the joints. So a lot of people have joint problems with hips, and, and even, feet and shoulders and all that, earlier than you would have thought. Joints also accumulate and stay in our body fat because the body's trying to protect it's so from the toxin. So it actually, if there's a toxin, then there's, they will grow more fat to kind of protect
Mm.
the body. So people will be, overweight there. So, when we start, getting rid of and properly cleansing, to me, I think it's, if a person isn't in really poor health, I think starting with a cleanse is the best thing that they can do. Cleanse the liver. We can hold 5 to 20 pounds in the colon, of debris that's just built up over the years. But that makes us sluggish, if we are carrying old debris mentally and physically. within our body. So, starting with a good cleanse is usually a great way for people to get a jump start. And a lot of my members and clients will say it's like a veil lifted, like all of a sudden after they do that, they're like, oh, they look at things differently and they have more energy, and they notice things they didn't, notice before, and they have, just kind of a new lease on life. And that's pretty powerful to see.
Yes, that's wonderful. And thank you for sharing this with us. And also, how can someone begin to reverse that degeneration, especially if they feel like they are already too far gone?
Yeah, and really nobody is too far gone. I mean, if someone's got, has lost a limb, we don't, regrow things, or sometimes some of the diseases. So obviously prevention is best. But even starting, with hydration, whatever a person's weight is, if you divide that in two, this would be in ounces. So if you divide that in two, that's how many ounces you should have per day. So just getting in more water into the body, pure water, is going to help. It's going to help our brain. It's going to help our neurons grow. It's going to help our cells to start to detoxify, on their own. So that is a big one. Adding in fiber. Ideally, the body needs, about 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. So that acts as a broom in the colon to bring out, more of the debris. It also helps, with our cholesterol, to take the bad cholesterol out. Also cleaning up toxins in the home, whether those are, the cleaning products or shampoos, with colors, or, air fresheners. Or I did a little class the other day just on like laundry detergents and, dryer sheets. These are, they're all, tough stuff, for the body. So cleaning up around the home can be helpful. Stopping with some of the screen time, and that's a problem for everyone all over the world. How long are we gonna, look at this? And and to do that, because it plays havoc with our brain, and especially at night, it shuts down our pituitary gland, and then our pituitary gland is where our melatonin comes from, and the melatonin helps us to sleep. So if you're looking at your phone before bed, it may take you another 45 minutes. Or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you pick it up, you're going to have a problem of up to 20 to 30 minutes of falling back to sleep. And then, having good quality food. Those are some great ways to get started without having to do any big deal, but just to get started.
Yes, that's so wonderful. And is it ever too late to start regenerating from inside out?
It's surprising how many things can actually change. Like with muscle building in particular, a lot of people as they get older are concerned about strength and mobility and all of that. And muscles can grow at any age, 60, 70, 80. Even they've done studies, even people in their 90s can grow more muscle. And when we grow more muscle, then we have a stronger posture, more energy, and then maybe we can, exercise more. We can make differences in our hair and in our skin. A lot of times as people get older, women will start to lose hair. Well, that's related to progesterone, which is a hormone we need for pregnancy. And so after we're beyond childbearing, maybe we don't need that, but we can supplement that. And it's another thing I do on a daily basis, are the bioidentical hormones. And that makes a huge difference. If you can work with a practitioner to get your hormones regulated, it's like turning on the fountain of youth. It just is. And so you can see a dynamic difference there, as well too. Eyesight, when my mom was, well, I think she was 75 at the time, and she went to her doctor, and she needed a new prescription, but the prescription it wasn't as strong. She didn't need the same. And that was at 75. Her eyes changed. So we see big differences. At one point, she was living away, and she was on, the doctors had her on 3 different blood pressure medicines. And when she came to see me, we were able to, with her physician too, but to get her off all 3 of those blood pressure medicines. So many people are over medicated with too many side effects and not, not feeling bad. So a lot of times if you go, to an old person's, home, if you will, you see people all slumped over and not doing too well. A lot of it is just, especially again in this country, over medicated, and where people can work, naturally. I believe we certainly need, if someone gets, in an accident or heart attack, you want the medical system right there. But for other things like energy and sleep and digestion and moods and skin and all that, I mean, we can do all of that naturally. So there's a lot that can be done at all the ages.
Yes, that's the hope, that the idea that healing is always possible is what
Yes.
so many need to hear right now. And it's a really wonderful conversation with you. And if after this my listeners want to connect with you, then what's the best way?
Yeah, I have a page where people, and I work with people. I have a beautiful membership site. That's my pride. It's called Wise Women of Wellness, and so I have people that I take by the hand within there and teach, on a regular basis. I do private consultations for people that want one-on-one, help. I have free PDF how to grow a muscle. People can get that for free on my site, and I have a whole free PDF on what to expect when you're cleansing. So if people just want to to learn about that. And that site is drshirleysays.live/wise. So drshirleysays.live/wise. And that opens up 5 different ways to work with me. And I just tell people, just find something that, that looks good. It's a good fit for what you're looking for. Take advantage of the free things and the community. And people can also follow me on Facebook, because I do a story every day, just short, like a minute, but a little health tip every day. It's about a minute long. So that's a good way for people to start easily, as well too.
Yes, and I will make sure to attach all the details or links below so that the listeners can find him easily and get in touch with you and have a beautiful conversation with you. And because this, thank you for sharing all your stories, all your experiences, all your plethora of knowledge with us. And to all my listeners, feeling energized? You should. Your body is talking, and regeneration is still within reach. So follow Dr. Shirley's work, pick up her best-selling book, and start asking yourself daily that am I feeding life or draining it? Choose wisely, heal boldly, and live naturally. Thank you.